this great country of Canada is built on immigrants. Immigration has helped sustain our population. It's helped grow our economy. It's something that we all embrace and recognize that is so important and necessary for the future economic health and prosperity of our country. But leave it to Justin Trudeau to turn this great country of immigrants and spoil us on the notion of immigration. Hello, I'm Adrienne Batra. With me are Brian Lilley and Warren Kinsella. Brian, I bring this up about our need for immigration in Canada, our desire for immigration in Canada, a country built on immigration, because we've seen over the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years, a changing of perspective on immigration in this country for a whole host of reasons. But we now have the federal government, the Trudeau government, reversing course on many of their policy decisions on the levels of immigration in this country. It's in response to clearly and obviously backlash. And I'm wondering what this change portends for the future of immigration in Canada.
I'd like to say it's a return to sanity, but I'm not quite sure. So, we had this Tuesday night in the Sun, in my column about in the lead up to the coup, that Trudeau had put out the word ahead of the caucus meeting. He said, no announcements. Thursday's a blackout day. We're only going to talk about one thing, big cut to immigration coming. So what are the numbers? We're going to cut permanent residency by 20%. There's going to be some impact on the provincial nominee program, which is one of the programs within immigration that works. That's where provinces say, look, we've got a hole in our labor force. We need, let's say, plumbers. We need to recruit plumbers. Well, they're going to cut that. It doesn't look like, and we'll have to parse through the details of this brand new announcement. It doesn't look like they're going to go after something like family reunification. But that's been a long-standing back and forth between Liberals and Conservatives on how you run the immigration system. And some Liberals have definitely favored family reunification, which means bringing grandma over. This is something that you and I, as children of immigrants, Adrienne, can relate to. There is that, your parents come over as economic immigrants. Do you bring your elderly relatives? Some do, some don't. That's the push back and forth. Mm-hmm. The Trudeau guys, they took a successful immigration program and they put it on steroids. And you said the last 5 to 10 years. I can give you a data point. 2019, only 35% of Canadians said we were bringing in too many immigrants. That was a poll done by Leger for the Association of Canadian Studies. This year, they asked the same question. 65% said we're bringing in too many. You go into immigrant neighborhoods in the GTA and you talk to people and they'll say, we're bringing in too many people.
That's
Why?
Right.
Because more than 1.2 million people, almost 1.5 million, came in between July 1st, 2023 and July 1st, 2024. Even Trudeau said, we're bringing in people faster than we can absorb them. So what's he really going to do with the temporary residents already here? What's he really going to do with the temporary foreign workers program? What's he really going to do with the international student program? All of which he's responsible for, no matter how many times he tries to blame business or the provinces.
Warren, we've seen pressure put on our housing, healthcare, education, because there hasn't been planning. They haven't planned. They didn't organize with the provinces or the municipalities to be able to absorb the numbers that we're getting. We already have a housing crisis in this country. We already have a healthcare crisis in this country. Again, I maintain the necessity and the need for immigration. We have to have it. We're not having enough children of our own to sustain a prosperous future for our economic future for our country. But just looking at the numbers, they want to reduce the permanent resident status down to 20. They want to reduce it by 20%. The temporary resident status, they want to bring it down to 5% of the overall population. Now, those are numbers, and they're big numbers. It means little when you're dealing with it on the ground. So what does this announcement do other than for them to say in the next election, we're trying to address that issue?
It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
and it's hypocritical. I've helped run campaigns in the past where immigration has been a football. It's been a political football. And historically, in particular, there have been sensible liberal leaders who have recognized that talking about immigration and refugee policy is not racist, but not this prime minister. For a decade, he has raised the alarm and screamed bloody murder whenever the Conservatives or anybody, in fact, has said anything about what he has now announced, which is reducing permanent residence from 485 this year to in 2027 down to 365. If the Conservative Party had suggested that, in the past 10 years, he would have been depicting them as torch-wielding neo-Nazis. He would have been calling them racist. We all know it. So that's what really struck me by all of this is just the immense hypocrisy, the complete, Trudeau and Mark Miller, his immigration minister, they should have whiplash from the about face that they've done on this thing. And so, forget about the numbers. It's the broader policy point, which is, the guy more than any other who has said that it's racist to reduce immigration numbers in this country for the past decade is the guy who just did exactly that.
Well, let us know what you think in the comments below. Go to the torontosun.com. You'll find commentary and coverage there you will not find anywhere else. Like this video and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.